You are listening to the Techie Leadership Show with Bogdan and Andrei.
Hello and welcome to the Techie Leadership Show. Today with me I have Kemi Sogunle, and she, as an IT business consultant, supports organizations with business analysis, business process improvement efforts, requirements elicitation and management, as well as project management and team building activities. Hi Kemi, how are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Same, really good, and I am excited to be talking with you. Do you want to add anything else about yourself?
That's you kind of nailed it on the head. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Because I know you also do other stuff, so you do more than this.
Yeah, I do more than that. I coach, I speak, I write books on life and relationship issues as well.
So I'm really curious about your stories, especially from having all this myriad of perspectives on them. So I'm really interested, like, what is the biggest leadership success story you've witnessed personally?
The biggest success story, not necessarily for myself, or is it for myself, or is it
It can be
based
for
on?
yourself or somebody that you've seen them doing. It's up to you.
It's been from one of my previous managers, who took everybody on the team by the hand and really pulled every team member up into growing it towards leadership role. It wasn't just based on the work we were doing on the job. It was also based on looking at personal growth, and she was supporting everyone on the team outside of just the work environment and being a servant leader.
Okay, that's great. And how did she help like people to evolve into leaders and help them grow?
She kind of looked at some of the skills that we had. Personally, for me, she looked at my team building skills and kind of tasked me with coming up with activities for team building based on me being a life coach and also supporting the team with personal issues that they were going through. And so I was coordinating team building activities on a weekly basis to kind of bring the team to where everybody felt free being themselves, and there was a lot of transparency and collaboration on the team.
Awesome. And was like and still is like team building one of your strong points?
Yes, it is.
So you can say like she saw this strong point and said, I'm going to help you like improve on it and expand on it and become better at it.
Absolutely.
And that's something interesting that I find like in good leaders, they hone in not on the weak points of a person trying to make them better there. They mostly focus on what's the strong point that this person or strong points that this person has. How can I help them become even better at those? And what kind of people I can put them in collaboration with that can alleviate the weak points.
And what I discovered from that is when you also as a coach, which is something I really practice in my own personal space, when you allow yourself not to create an environment of judgment, but you allow people to come to you, willfully to share with you and to listen, actively listen to them, you're able to look at where their strengths correlate with that of other team members. You're able to look at where their weaknesses can be better improved, and you're also providing them with the support to help them build on those at the same time while they're still working as a team member and a team player.
Oh yeah, that's so great, and that's so important, Kemi. Like active listening, and
Yes.
probably you have like lots of tips you can share on that.
Yes, I do.
Well, if you would share a couple of them, like what would be like the most important stuff you can do to actually active listen and be in tune with another person?
It's very vital to actively listen to people, because then you're able to hear things that are not being said. You're able to come up with powerful questions to help them move forward. You're also able to learn more about them when you're not, creating an atmosphere of judgment, or you're not creating an atmosphere of stereotyping people, but you come to the plate just as a listener, And as a great communicator, one of the greatest things we miss out in communicating is actively listening. We're quick to respond, but we're not quick to understand. When we actively
Oh yeah.
listen, we understand people better, and we know what their pain points are. We're able to better solve their problems.
And I like it a lot how you phrase it, because when you're actively listening, you pick up on the things that are not being said. So not it's not about listening to the words, it's
Yes,
about listening at the whole message.
absolutely.
Wow, amazing. And Kemi, when it comes like to not everybody has only success stories, unfortunately. I for sure don't have only success stories. I would love to be in that high place. What would be the biggest leadership failure you had the unfortunate experience of witnessing?
I've witnessed quite a number
Okay.
where leaders become intimidated by subordinates, and based on personal issues that they may go through, they may suppress the subordinates' ability to continue to excel, and they kind of leave you in a place where you're questioning your own being, and questioning your own abilities, or even not being able to speak out and receive support from them. It's where you get bullied for being a voice that needs to be heard. And I
Yes.
think that actually creates a toxic environment. I strongly believe that creates a toxic atmosphere in the job environment. Not only does it affect people on the job, it affects them on their personal, life as well. Because imagine waking up every morning and wanting to come to work, and you're thinking, "Oh, now I have to return to this toxic environment again. Now I have to deal with this toxic leader again." And it just never ends until that person finds another job to move on to.
That's so unfortunate. And I would be curious, do you have like an example to give of this?
I personally had the experience where it was a manager who felt intimidated by things that I knew and my skills. And while she was trying to suppress that, I did not allow her to silence my voice. And that resulted in her framing me to where I was terminated. And
No,
after she presented me with the term, she actually gave me an evaluation right before the termination,
that's
saying that I
awful.
exceeded the company's expectations. But
Ah,
then the following day, she gave me a termination letter. And after terminating me, she did apologize. And I had to come back to her to say, you know what, your apology is not accepted. This is not the reason why you're terminating me. It's just you feeling intimidated by what I know, and feeling that, I may be promoted to replace you, which is not what I'm planning to do. So again,
yeah.
her perception wasn't my reality, and I had to move on to a better place.
That's I don't have words. Like one day you get like a praise, like you're doing an awesome job, and the next day you get terminated. Like that doesn't make any sense. And I
Absolutely.
feel for you, especially it comes like from the blue. I don't think like you were prepared for something like this the second day. You were going in to get your plaque on the wall, and you got yeah, and that's true. If as a leader, if you're afraid for your position because you have strong people on underneath you, then it causes problems for the whole team and then for the
Absolutely.
company also. Yeah, and you
Absolutely.
are absolutely right. You have to be secure in yourself. Uh,
And that if that security is missing, then you're going to end up inflicting pain on your team members and transferring and projecting your personal pain on team members, and team members become unhealthy as well, and it creates an unhealthy environment to work with, where people begin to walk on eggshells.
yes, that is true. And Kemi, I'm really curious about what is your leadership philosophy?
My biggest leadership philosophy is to treat people how you want to be treated. Knowing that we're all equal, it takes, you know, your drive in life to become successful. And success is also, when we focus on success in terms of leadership, your success is based on the success of your team members. how successful your team members are
Yes.
will lead to how successful you are as a leader. And when you allow that to be your mantra, when you come into becoming a servant leader and you allow your team members to see that you're always available and willing to help, you're able to build people up to where you are. I have a quote that says, trees don't bend back to become shrubs. As much as you're growing to become a tree,
Ah,
you're bringing other people along with you to become a tree as well. And that's what leadership is all about.
I love that quote. It's really, really
Thank you.
deep. And yeah, and as a human being, just as trees, you should always grow. That's what you're doing. And it's really nice to have people that take care of you and help you grow more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And talking about this, do you have like some pointers about how can you help people grow? How can you inspire them to take the steps and seeing you like this is a leader that's not toxic. He wants to help me. His actions are there to push me to grow. They're not there to push me to stifle me.
And what I do is I offer several mindset coaching where you're looking at how to build your mind, because what you feed, I have another quote that says, what you feed your mind leads your life. If you're feeding your minds with negative thoughts, the negative thoughts will end up leading your life. But if you're feeding your mind with positive thoughts and evaluating and introspecting every day, you're able to look at your life to say, you know what is this situation teaching me about myself? And as long as you're working on yourself, you're getting coached, you're getting mentored to really uncover the mind that you have and develop your mindset, you will be able to move forward and forge ahead in life into moving into leadership positions that you can also help people that are coming behind you to attain.
Yeah. And Kemi, for aspiring leaders, what would be the top 3 leadership tips you would have for them?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
For aspiring leaders, what would be the top 3 leadership tips you would have for them?
Be willing to listen to every person that you're leading, because sometimes we have to learn from other people. We may not know, we never know it all. We're never going to be perfect. Learn from other people through active listening. Be willing to serve. When you serve, you get served back. And be willing to
Mm,
contribute to the growth of other people around you. When you're giving, you're also able to receive. But when you're holding back, you're not going to be able to receive, and that will make you really become aggressive in a way where you're not being productive.
yes. And I'm really curious about this. Is from your point of view, because when you're working with, you're also like you're a relationship coach, and I'm and you're also working with business people, businessmen, and managers to help them improve their leadership. Can you draw like some parallels between the two and how lessons from being in a healthy relationship would apply to leadership?
When you have a healthy personal state of being, when you come into an environment where you're leading, all you want to do is bring on that healthy state of mind into your healthy environment. Everywhere you go should, it's a law of attraction. Everywhere you move into should lead you to build a healthy atmosphere. Because when you create a little space for toxicity grows very quickly. But if you allow yourself to always come into a positive mind and healthy mind state into every environment you find yourself as a leader, you will be able to build better. You'll be able to build stronger. You'll be able to build a team in a very wise collaborative method. Think about it. Everything we do in life is revolving around relationships. And without the relationships, we wouldn't have the life that we have.
Yes.
Relationships are what keep us going. And so, as a leader, you have to be able to build successful relationships, healthy relationships in the workplace. You also have to think about it. Every time you get out of the work environment, those people may be a conduit that you need later on in life. And if you don't
Yes.
establish a healthy relationship, what happens when you meet them later on in life and you need their help? That
Oh
help will
my
never
God,
be
yes.
rendered.
Yes, don't think just like now how I'm working with them, but think of them as partners for your entire life because you already forged, you spend so much time with them. 8 hours a day, it's a lot of time. And you get to forge relationships that are not transitory. It's not like a transaction and it goes away. It's you're building a network for your entire life. And
Absolutely.
I like a lot how you stated that to forge healthy relationship and to be like a leader, it all starts with you and you
Yes,
being in a good state, and that also motivates you to create a good state around you because you want to keep your good state. You don't want it affected by by
definitely.
yeah, and that's good. If you feel good, you'll have a team that feels good eventually because you'll be
Exactly.
working in that direction. I like it. I like it a
Thank
lot,
you.
Kemi. Um, and when it comes to books, and I know you wrote a couple of them, and I know that you've read a lot. What is the book that had the most profound impact on you?
The book that has the most effect on me is The Lean Startup. Um,
The Lean Startup.
I read The Lean Startup, and I also read I read several books after that, but that stands up to me, as well as oh my gosh, just went off the tip of my head. Um, he had a series. This guy had a series of books that were written on the mindset and um, on mindset and positive lifestyle. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And if you look at that, another book that stands out to me is Effective Leadership. And if you allow yourself to read more on being an effective leader, allow yourself to educate yourself frequently on what it takes to be an effective leader, you will be able to pass on those learning skills because life is all about learning and growing. Every skill you learn, you'll be able to pass on to the next person. It's passing the baton on to the next person and seeing them grow, because if they're not growing, then it's going to reflect on your leadership lifestyle as well.
Yeah. And I'm really curious, what was the main nugget of knowledge you took from the Lean Startup?
Looking at how projects are handled and being able to reverse engineering in a way where it's more meaningful, you're more productive, and you're more able to deliver what the client wants than just um, working in a waterfall environment.
Oh, that sounds really, really good. I like it. And taking like a chance when you're talking like the series that you can actually, are they called what, the Go Giver series?
I'm sorry?
Are they the Go Giver series of books or not?
No, there are different
Uh,
books that I've read, just
Ah,
different books.
okay. Okay, okay. Um, Kemi, if people want to find out more about you, where should they go?
They can find me on my website, www.kemisogunle.com, all one word. Or they can also try using kemionline.com, KEMIonline.com. They can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram.
That's awesome. And I'll put all those resources in the show notes so people can easily reach out to you.
Thank you.
And yeah, and Kemi, has been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you
Same
so
here.
much.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
That was today's episode. Tune in daily. Rate, like, subscribe, and share, please. Oh, you can find further info and materials in the show notes on techyleadership.com, including links to the guest book recommendations.